This is the NFL Play Football Podcast, and I'm Jeff Fisher of High School Football America. The NFL celebrates youth and high school football year-round through camps, activities, NFL flag, and tackle leagues. The Play Football Initiative provides a fun and engaging experience for players of all ages and skill levels, equipping young people with key life skills that are building blocks to success on and off the field. The journey across America, talking to the 2022 NFL High School Coaches of the Year winners, goes to Southern California. And we've got the Los Angeles Rams Coach of the Year on the line, Matt Castaneda from Diamond Bar High School. Man, what a turnaround for Matt in his first year with the Brahmas. And by the way, I love that nickname. 5-7 the year before this past season, 12-2. They make it to the CIF Southern Section Division 9 championship game. They finish runner-up there, and he's on the line right now to talk about the turnaround. And I did see he's got a big coaching background in the family here, so that's probably going to be the first question. But thanks for taking the time to join us, Coach.
Oh, thank you. Pleasure's all mine.
Yeah, I read one of the stories when you got hired at Diamond Bar that you've got some lineage. I think it goes all the way back to World War II. So my first question is going to be, why is high school football coaching in the blood?
You know, I wish I knew, honestly. As long as I can remember, football's been a part of our life. My dad was a high school coach, and several places along SoCal. And then my grandfather played in one of the bigger rivalries over here in East LA Classic at Garfield High School. Mm-hmm. And then his dad, my great-grandfather, was up in San Marcos and played over there. And then eventually after World War II came back down and settled over here in East Los Angeles. So football's just been a part of our blood. I really don't know anything else but football. Football wasn't something I definitely, was introduced to. I just as long as I can remember going back, we had a football in our hands. We watched football. We coached football. And it's been something that I guess our whole family's kind of been around. My grandpa still comes to every single game that I played in and now coach in. So he was at our game in our finals a few weeks back. So it's in the blood, and it's something I really enjoy.
Oh, that's beautiful. What's the best advice they've given you? And you can take it from your great-grandfather to your grandfather, however you want to do it, your father. What's some of the advice that's made you the coach that you are right now?
That's a great question. There's so many things said over the years, so many different pieces of advice you take. It's like a bag full of tricks. You soak it all up like a sponge. You hear what they say, but more than anything, I'm a teacher and a coach, and a lot of people have lived some pretty hard lives. My great grandfather coming out of World War II and a whole different era of people, and just perspective. I guess the biggest thing is have perspective and just be yourself. I think for the most part, it's a game. Football's a game, and we're blessed to play it, and there's a lot of people, unfortunate, around the world and have lived at different periods of our history that have dealt with a lot more difficult things than playing football. And so, our base point of what I think and how I operate as a coach is more or less training for life and preparing for life. And, football's a blessing and be able to coach and to play. And so I come in that angle. At the same time, we're a hard-nosed family and kind of old school football. And so you run the ball if your kids don't want to stop and make plays. They're going to play for you. If your kids are going to want to tackle, they're going to tackle. And if you need to win the game, you're going to run the ball. And so, it's a definitely unique mindset. And having that lineage back in our family for so long is just so unique for us. I have my grandfather's picture of him playing over at Garfield in his helmet from, I think, the early 60s. And I have that hanging up in my office. And my dad playing over as well, and my brother playing. And so, it's just a unique culmination of just thoughts and ideas and mindsets that I've kind of I take with me every single day. Every single day I show up to coach and teach.
I love the way you put that together. That is so cool. Matt Castaneda is on the line on the NFL Play Football Podcast. He is the Rams Coach of the Year. Turned it around in 1 year, made it to the division finals in the Southern Section of CIF. For people not familiar, the CIF Southern Section, that's full of heavyweights right there. For the teams that you all know from the modern days and the Boscos right on down through. You win a Southern Section title, you're doing something there, and you came oh so close this year. Matt, I understand that you know what happens when football can be taken away from you. I guess you were injured there at Whittier College. I guess you were a starting quarterback there, and an injury kind of got you into the coaching profession. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, coming out of high school, I was, a pretty decent quarterback, but at 5'7", 5'8", you're not getting too many opportunities to play beyond, high school. And so I had good numbers and, had some pretty good accolades. And I ended up playing at Whittier College freshman year. I spotted in, played in several games. And then my sophomore year was a starter and had a pretty good run those first 3 or 4 games. And then right up against Chapman University, rolling out, got a really bad hit to the shoulder. And I think it was like a grade 4 AC joint sprain. So I dislocated my arm, did a few things bad to it, and it was just really, really, a difficult injury to take in your throwing shoulder. And so I stepped away. That game I was done for the season, and my dad was a high school coach at the time already, so he was coaching. And during the weekends, I would go to his game on Friday nights, go help out on the sidelines, put on a headset. And so I was ready, kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out of playing. And once I got hurt, I already knew what I wanted to do and knew what I wanted to be about. And so, it's a different aspect when you're playing in high school and then to go playing at college on Saturdays and you're practicing 6 days a week. And there's just a lot more going into what you do at the collegiate level, even at Division III. And so playing in the SCIAC was definitely a blessing and gave me a much broader scope of the football and the game itself. But once I was done playing, I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and it kind of just cards fell into place. And so the minute I stopped playing, I had a chance to come back my junior year and become the starter again and start practicing spring ball, which I did for about 2 weeks. And then my shoulder was just not feeling it. I just kind of felt tired of playing. And I said, you know what, I know where I want to go and what I want to do. And so, I know what it's like to kind of end the game and leave it alone. At the same time, there was this itch and this, really big idea of myself to be on the sidelines. And so it's a totally different aspect than playing, obviously, but it's just something totally different, almost like playing chess in a sense. You get a chance to do so many different things. And so I fell in love with the game from early on. And the minute I got hurt, I realized, hey, okay, this is done. Now it's time for me to take the next step and get into teaching and get a load of high school football.
Yeah, and then you got that other stuff percolating in your blood from all your relatives there.
Exactly.
That helped out a lot, too.
What was the plan behind it? I didn't have a plan. It just kind of came together. I really didn't plan, hey, this is what I'm going to do. It just one thing led to another, and before I know it, boom, here I am in this role.
Oh, yeah, that's the way those things happen. And now you're the Rams Coach of the Year. You're joining us here on the NFL Play Football podcast talking about that. And I've mentioned since we started rolling tape here, although there's no tape anymore in 2022, the digital thing does it all the time now. But I mentioned the great turnaround, your first year at Diamond Bar. Great success. I mean, +7 on the wins. You get to the section Division IX championship game. What were some of the things you did once you were hired that kind of set the tone for the success you had this year?
I got hired, I want to say late January, so about a year ago to the date. And I just had one meeting with the boys in the weight room, the library, and met with the parents that night in a kind of a community event. And it was just those quick, easy words of, hey, change is difficult. Change is going to be tough. But if you guys stick with me and you believe what we do, believe in the system I'm going to implement, and, I think we'll come out on top. And the biggest thing for me was just these boys were such a sponge. There were such good kids here in this program and in this school, in this community. Such great kids. I don't have kids missing from school for X, Y, and Z reasons. I have kids that are in AP classes, honors classes. I have kids that are doing so much extracurricular within the school. They're just such great kids. And so the minute I met them, I knew I had something to work with. And there's such a good senior group of kids that I had. And so it just was them trusting in me. We started right away with our off-season workouts. I didn't come on campus until August. So everything I had to do was all after school or, on the weekend on Saturday morning. So we started about, I want to say, late February. And we just did small workouts here or there, implemented our spread system, implemented our defense. And then the boys just started playing ball. And, there were some moments where there was some, trial and error here or there and some real big teaching moments. But for the most part, these kids came in with such a blank slate for me that I was able to kind of mold and shape them how I wanted them to play. And, the unique thing this year was I coached both the varsity and the junior varsity team this year.
Oh, wow.
So on Thursdays, I was doing pregame and walkthrough for our players. For our varsity team, and then boom, load up the bus, take the JV players. So I coached a total of 7 games, went 5-2. But some of my best days, were on Thursdays when I was able to take this freshman group and just give them everything I want to do on a Friday night on a Thursday. And we had some great games. We did some great things, won a league title with them. And they just really soaked it up as well. And so for me, it was just more about them taking ownership of what they do on the field. Dime Bar has a rich history of athletics here, from basketball, wrestling, baseball, and football. And we've had several players play in the NFL, numerous Division I players. A few guys play for the Super Bowl. And so it was a matter of just restoring the tradition. And that was my goal, was to restore the tradition, bring this place back to relevance. And, it really was the ADs, or two of our ADs, I think just two of the most great people I've worked for ever, have really just been right behind me, along with our principal and assistant principals and our grade level coordinators. They were just all on board. They just, hey, Matt, we're going to get out of your way. Do what you do. Nobody told me what to do. Nobody told me when I couldn't practice. Nobody reviewed my practice plans. Nobody did anything. They said, hey, we're going to give you the keys and run with it, and let's just watch you work. And so that was really the big key for me, was being able to do what I wanted to do when I wanted to. And it was nothing egregious, nothing crazy. It was just, hey, we practice an hour and a half. We implement our system. We're moving. And some people, alumni, came out and watched our practice and like, wow, this is different than what we've seen these past few years. And, it speaks for itself what we were able to put together this year and go to the finals in year one. But really, a lot of it comes from just the boys themselves. They were so eager and hungry to have a good year. And at the end of the year, we lose the game in the finals. We become 7 points short. We had a chance at the end of the game. And to get all the way there in year one and to lose, I remember I had such a disdain look on my face and such a kind of a sick stomach for a few moments there at the end of the game. And I looked over at our boys, and some boys had tears, some boys were sad. But at the end of the game, a few boys hugged me and said, Coach, all we wanted was a good year. All we wanted was to do better than the past few years, have a good experience. And for the admin walked up and said, Coach, all we wanted was to be relevant again. All we wanted was to bring back tradition, and to see the school and the sidelines packed the way they were, and to see the amount of tradition we've restored, the amount of alumni support, was just absolutely insane this year. So, we didn't win on the field, and, it'll eat me up to the day I pass away for sure to lose that game. As a coach, as a competitor, obviously you want to win every game, but, to get to this point and to do what we did, a lot of it just comes back to the boys believing in, what I say, and them trusting me, and then trusting what I do, all the time. You got to look yourself in the mirror every night and believe in what you say, and so it's constantly, just making myself believe in what I do, and then hopefully that resonates with them and they believe what I say and they just take it and run with it on the game.
Yeah, I've done thousands of these through the decades, and I think if I have a coach on that's 100 wins and 3 losses, the only ones that'll remember are the 3 losses. So you're in some familiar territory there. We're talking with Matt Castaneda. He is the Diamond Bar coach, the Rams Coach of the Year. I'd love to be able to have you get every name of every player into the podcast now, but that's not humanly possible, obviously. But I do want to get some names in there for you. Tell us a little bit about the size of your program, and then maybe give us some of your captains or guys that you feel did a great job on the off the field for you to get to the finals this year.
Yeah, so the varsity team, we ran with about 55 to 60 players dressed, every Friday night. Of those 55 to 60, we had about anywhere from, probably 30 sophomores that would play both Thursdays and Fridays. And then we had about 35 to 40 freshmen. So the numbers, over 100, less than 120, 130 in the total program. Numbers are growing, so that was a positive. And, in SoCal, there's a lot of teams that are losing the 3 levels and going to 2 levels, whether it be a frost and soft team or just a JV-only team. But we're very thankful to still hold all 3 levels and still be able to, compete for 3 games per week, which is really good for the development of the program. But, at the varsity level, we had some really, really outstanding players. We had 2 players actually earn SoCal Players of the Week by the newspaper group over here in Los Angeles and the entire SoCal area. That was Maddox Bernardino, a wide receiver DB for us, who was all area and had a really good year last year. And this year, again, no exception. He really evolved, playing both sides of the ball this year. He was our league MVP. He won, I think, 3 games for us in the last drive of the game. So in 2-minute offense, we beat Esperanza second to last play of the game, on a post. And then same thing against San Dimas in the semifinals to go to the finals. I think 20 seconds left in the game, backside post, same thing to him. He's a guy, he's kind of in between right now. He has a few D2 offers. He was kind of sitting on a preferred walk-on spot. Great kid, even better individual. So he was a wonderful, wonderful player to have. And then Luke Moe, offensive lineman and defensive end for us. Another kid who got offers Division II, Western Colorado. Just solid individual, just a wonderful, wonderful young man to coach. But also, just such grit on the field, the kind of old school football that you need to have on your team. And he really anchored that offensive line for us with his attitude and tenacity. He's about 6'2", 6'3", 250, but he just had a motor on him and just played so strong. He was one of our captains. And then one of my favorite, I mean, can't have favorite players. You shouldn't have favorite players. One of my favorite stories of the year, storylines, is definitely Isaiah Young. You know, he's about all 5'6" or 5'5", you know, and I mean, he was just a workhorse. He rushed over 2,300 yards this season, I think about 30 touchdowns. He led the area in rushing, and he's one of the top in SoCal, one of the top in California for total rushing yards and touchdowns. And, you know, he didn't play last year. He was a guy that kind of sat around, didn't get too much playing time, maybe had less than 8 carries in the entire season last year. And we graduated last year's our first year, but they graduated a running back. And here comes in this kid. He was 5'5", 5'4", and they're like, hey, you know, get the tailback. And, you know, he really carried us. I mean, the line really opened up some holes, but I mean, he ran so hard. He was the offensive MVP for our league. He was the all-area running back first team for our area in the San Gabriel area, and he'll end up being probably all-CIF, hopefully all-state. He was SoCal Player of the Week as well, and he was also Cal High Sports California Player of the Week back in the playoffs. I mean, he rushed for just an incredible number of yards, so such a great kid. And again, you want to name every single player. I had a few more kids. Matt Galvan is only a sophomore. He really anchored our defense for us. Nolan Kim, Jake Rake, 2 linemen that are juniors coming back, returners that are both 6'3", all area, all league, that I'm really excited about. And then a sophomore QB who came in when our starting QB gets hurt opening drive of game 2, and he breaks his ankle in 2 places. So he's done for the year. So a sophomore comes in who played sparingly freshman year, and he took us, I think we went 8-1 with him. And, you know, he just, him and split the time with Abram Mejia, a junior QB as well. So both of them split 8-1, and they just both did a great job of bringing the team together. And then the senior QB came back game number 11, first round of playoffs, and was healthy and got to the final. So just an incredible group of kids that were able to play for us and do their thing and just play so selfless. You know, we had such a selfless team. Guys filled in on special teams, and guys just did what they needed to do all year long. You know, so great group of kids. Obviously, you know, a group of kids that I'll remember forever, you know, going all the way to the finals. But if I could, I'd go back and coach them all over again. Such a tremendous group of boys I'd love to have again, you know.
I love it. And you said you were a little size challenged, so I guess you knew what to do with that 5'4", 5'5" tailback there.
Yeah, well, it made it easy. They're line 6'2" and 6'3", you know what I mean? So he was able to fill those gaps, and, you know, he's making a guy miss 1 or 2 in the hole. And that's what we say, hey, we'll give you a hole, but you got to make 1 or 2 guys miss. You know what I mean? Go. If it's a back or safety, you get past the first level, and you got to make a guy miss, and then that's what he was able to do to make him special. So
no doubt. Kid. No doubt. And you know, your name's on this award. Obviously, you've mentioned how the administration played a role with your ADs and all that. The players obviously help you get this award, but, you know, the staff, the guys that are there, you're the CEO of this organization, right? And you've got some guys. So let's get some guys in by name there. Some guys that made a difference for you and made the turnaround possible.
Yeah, you know, we have a very small staff. We only carried 5 coaches total. So really small staff, and that was for both varsity and JV. So I'm the head coach and also the offensive coordinator. But our line was coached by actually my brother, Tim Castaneda, who's a school psychologist and coached over at Glendale College and coached for a short time at St. Margaret's Harry Welch and coached around the area for a long time. And so I brought him with us to run our offensive line, and it's great to have him there. And then also our lines also co-ran by Coach Dave Perez, a guy who's coached for about 25 plus years around the Valley as well. And then I was really excited about our defense coordinator, younger coach, just finished playing NAIA at Kansas Wesleyan, Jasper Chavez. He's a guy who actually played at Roseby, where I was coaching previously, came back from coaching or playing, and wanted to get in coaching. So last year I had him coaching linebackers. This year he was our DC and did a tremendous job, got some big stops for us when we needed to, put the defense in good position to make plays, and got us all the way to the final. So as a young coach, did a great job. And then another young coach, Louis Luna, was our defensive backs and our receivers coach. And so that was our 5 coaches. I mean, it was really all that ran the season and ran the JV team as well. So, you know, we did both. We did Thursdays and Fridays. So it was really fun. And again, we're a younger staff, so a lot of high energy and a lot of moving pieces. And the kids really enjoyed, at least from our perspective, the kids and the parents really enjoyed what we did. And so that's it. Really not a whole lot of big staff. And then, of course, our auxiliary staff, our staff trainer, our athletic trainers, you know, our equipment managers, all done a great job to help us out as well.
the beauty of high school football. You come across stories like this, and we can hear the enthusiasm in your voice. I have no doubt you were able to make it through those Thursdays and Fridays. Matt Castaneda, the Rams Coach of the Year, Diamond Bar High School is where he hails from, turning them around, getting into the Southern Section Division IX Finals, a runner-up finish. I have no doubt there's going to be some good stuff coming down the road for you as well. Let's wrap up with the reason you're here talking to me today, and the first question is, what the heck does it feel like to be the Rams Coach of the Year? I think it was Christmas, right, that they celebrated all the honorees this year, but how the heck did that feel? That's a good Christmas gift.
Yeah, we were a little shocked. My wife and I had just come back from Disney Alani over in Hawaii, and we usually spend our Christmas there, and so we rushed back on the 24th, Christmas Eve, to go make Christmas Day. But we knew a few weeks ago that, hey, they're going to celebrate the three winners on Christmas Day, and they'll announce the winner on TV live. And so just to get there was awesome. Just to be a finalist was great, and that whole experience. And the Rams have done such a great job with their high school engagement. Coach Jaleel Aldu does a great job, and such a wonderful individual that's been a big piece of bringing the relevancy. Now the Rams are back in Los Angeles to bring the high school coaches in there, and I went and spent time over the summer at their high school coaches kind of VIP experience to watch the camps, their summer training. And so just the whole experience to go through that process with Coach Jaleel Wadud and to get us through there, it was once in a lifetime for sure, because Nickelodeon hosted it. And so, being a younger person, my wife and I grew up watching Nickelodeon. And so she was like, what, Nickelodeon's hosting and they're going to slime you? So we went over there and got to the stadium, and my daughter's only 3 and she had a blast, and they really treated us like royalty and got a chance to be on the field. We got slimed on live TV, and then just to win the award was just absolutely amazing. Shocked for sure, and I mean, 2 great coaches I was there with Coach Narcisco Diaz from, where is it, Franklin High School, and then coach from Oak Hills High School as well. And so just 2 great coaches that are so awesome. So I was blessed to win that, just be there with them. And then we shared time and fellowship just a coaching brotherhood, talking about football. And we were put up in a suite up top to watch the rest of the game. And so it was a blessed day for my family, blessed day for me in my coaching experience to have that award. A little surreal still, I haven't really thought about it too much. They gave me this giant banner. I'm on TV, and everybody's calling me and texting me, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, I know. I wish I would have won that game, the championship game. So my mind was still back on the title game. I was like, you guys, I'm still back there in week 14. But it's such a blessing, such a whirlwind of events, too, to get there. And so I've been blessed. I'm thankful by Nickelodeon and thankful by the Rams organization to put that event on, and just thankful to be there.
Yeah, you can hear the enthusiasm. I also want to get Coach Metzger's name in there from Oak Hills to make sure we get them both. That's Coach Diaz and Metzger were the runner-ups there to you. Hey, what the bloodline think? Come on, the bloodline, that coaching bloodline. What did they say to you when they saw you get slimed and win the award?
Oh no!
I'm throwing you off.
Yeah, he didn't even know what channel to turn on to watch it. He was trying to figure out how to watch. I sent him photos, but they were happy. They were real happy. But they were just like, hey man, as long as you're staying focused and you don't get stuck in last year, keep moving forward and don't let any awards go to your head. That old thing, old school mentality football. Hey, you won an award, great job. Get to next season. Last season's over.
I love it. Matt Castaneda on the line, Diamond Bar High School Rams Coach of the Year. You get a $3,500 equipment grant from the Rams. So combine this question here. You know what you're going to do with that money, and then what does it mean to you that the NFL, all of the teams, but in this case specifically the Rams, reached down into the roots of the game?
Well, with the money, I plan to put it towards, I forget the name of the company, but there is a mobile bag that kind of runs on a remote control.
I've seen it, yeah.
So a tackling dummy. That's kind of a high price item I've kind of had my eye on for the past few years. Just something to kind of add to our repertoire to maybe limit the tackling concussions in practice and, just keep guys durable. I think it's a really, really good tool. And so I definitely want to look into purchasing that. That'd be kind of a high priority item there. But, for the Rams to put just this program together and to have this Coach of the Year award available to high school coaches, I mean, it really just, like you said, grassroots, high school football, youth football. I mean, it's where football begins and ends. It really runs through there. And so you have so many wonderful coaches and great players that may not ever see an NFL game, may not ever get a chance to even go to the NFL or even play college at any level, college, whether it be JUCO, Division 1, 2, or 3, NAIA. It's such a small majority, a percentage of people that get a chance to play at the next level. And so being able to reach down and touch base and make connection with the high school coaches is just invaluable, so invaluable. And it just really, it brings that level of connection from the high school back to the NFL. And it really kind of bridges the gap, it just really allows for communication, networking, it allows for experience building, and just really bringing everybody together around the game of football. Because that's what it is. The game of football is a wonderful game as long as you can share it. You know what I mean? And so being able to share it with the coaches I was able to, and being able to share it with this community of Diamond Bar, and then now with the Rams, and this connection we've made here is just, I think, invaluable. And so in that sense, the NFL, has done a wonderful job. And, being able to see all the coaches from around the country win these Coach of the Year awards for their specific organizations, their cities, has also been really neat to see. And then know that I'm part of that organization as well has just been really, really neat to see.
Coach, it's been neat to talk with you. I can understand why you've been able to accomplish what you accomplished this past year. The enthusiasm in your voice is infectious, so I'm sure when you have the whistle around your neck, it's just as good. And congratulations on the award. That's the NFL Play Football Podcast. Coaches, don't forget to check out playfootball.nfl.com for some great resources to help you improve in the coaching profession. I'm Jeff Fisher of High School Football America, and you've been listening to the NFL Play Football Podcast.